This was part of a fight card on February 16, 1980, at the Cumberland County Civic Center in Portland, Maine. A snowstorm rolled in and kept the crowd thin. First on the bill, Marcos Geraldo, the Mexican middleweight champ, ranked 8th in the world, 67 fights deep, a man who'd gone toe-to-toe with Sugar Ray Leonard and made him work for every inch. Across from him stood John Lo Cicero, a New York kid who stumbled out of the gate but clawed his way back, 10 straight wins and dreaming big. But Geraldo wasn't some stepping stone. He handed out boxing lessons to the uninitiated. An old-school Mexican magician, Lo Cicero was the young kid here, stepping into heavy traffic, hoping the light would turn green.
Round middleweight fight between John Lo Cicero, now circling to the top of your screen in the green trunks, and Marcos Geraldo in blue on the left of your screen. He is the Mexican and California middleweight champion. John Lo Cicero, 15-3 according to the promoters, one of the exciting young new middleweights out of New York. He was born and raised in New York City, and he is 15-3. Geraldo is 44-13 with 25 knockouts and some wins over some impressive people: Armando Muñiz, Willie Warren, Jose Palacios. And he also has a distinguished loss on his record, that to welterweight champion Sugar Ray Leonard back in May of '79. John Lo Cicero, quite a sensation around New York, a one-round knockout of Carlos Betancourt in his last fight, which was in January of this year.
No, Tim, Geraldo has a big edge in experience. He's had 65 fights, and Lo Cicero was on his 18th fight. He's also a better mechanic, but Lo Cicero is a great puncher, and he has that youth on his side. It should be very interesting.
Lo Cicero, 24 years of age, born and raised in New York. Geraldo, 26, born in Guaymas, Sonora, Mexico. And looked more like Lo Cicero lost his balance there than taking a real good shot, sending him into the ropes.
Lo Cicero looks very tight right now, and sometimes when you're tight and get hit, it could be all over. He just isn't at all relaxed.
Geraldo on the attack, the more experienced fighter perhaps sensing that tension in the young John Lo Cicero.
You know, you mentioned before about Geraldo and Sugar Ray Leonard. I think that Geraldo gave Ray Leonard his toughest fight.
I would agree. He did. It was a real good fight. Of course, Leonard was fighting up in weight on that fight. It was a good test for him, and he did come out the winner. The referee here is René La Liberté. They're on the 10-point must system in the state of Maine. 3 judges do the scoring. The referee does not figure in the scoring. Right hand lead from Geraldo to the cheekbone of Lo Cicero, and it backed him to the ropes. Under a minute to go in round number 1.
Big round for Geraldo thus far. There's that big right hand of Lo Cicero's, and Geraldo took it well, Tim.
Right hand lead, and he scored with it. Bell for round 2, scheduled for 10 middleweights. Marcos Geraldo, the Mexican champion, on right in blue. And at the top of your screen now is John Lo Cicero, 24-year-old New Yorker, looking for his 16th victory in 19 professional fights. In each of the 3 fights he lost, he had his opponent down in the final round, but lost the decisions.
Geraldo has dropped his left hand, or he did earlier in the round. Now he has them up. That could be fatal against the puncher like Lo Cicero.
Left jab from Geraldo. He's got the reach and height advantage, as you can see. 160 pounders in the middleweight division. Good left jab from Lo Cicero, his best jab of the fight so far. Geraldo, kind of a heavy puncher, not a sharp puncher. We saw that in the fight against Leonard. He can put some hurt on you, but he's not a real sharp puncher.
Dropped a good right hand on Lo Cicero's chin just before, caught him coming. But Lo Cicero scoring well to the body, Tim. Those punches could take something out of you a little later.
Second round action scheduled for 10. Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy ringside in Portland. Geraldo with a flurry of punches. No real damage done.
You can see the experience of Geraldo. He's doing a job on Lo Cicero. He's picking him apart. And again, Lo Cicero made a fatal mistake, and Geraldo took advantage of it.
Geraldo, 44 wins, 13 losses. We mentioned Lo Cicero in just his 19th professional fight. Less than a minute remaining in round 2. Round 1 went easily to Geraldo against a very tight young John Lo Cicero.
Well, he's winning this round just as easily. Lo Cicero can't get away from that left hand.
Gotta punch when he punches, John.
Doing a paint job on him, Tim.
Using that reach and that jab effectively here in round 2. Under 30 seconds to go.
There's that jab again.
Cicero trying to get closer, and Geraldo almost taunting him here. Oh, then definitely taunting him with the little razzle-dazzle foot movement there.
Well, people like it.
Final seconds of round number 2.
When he pulls the head back, hit him in the stomach.
Well, he's very, very relaxed. All that experience that comes into play. That's when Lo Cicero has to punch. When Geraldo's punching, he has to punch with him. There's no point in. That's what he has to do. He has to nail the other fellow when he's punching. It's the only way he's going to stay in the fight.
Geraldo again just landing most of that flurry on Lo Cicero's arms. So not really hurting him severely, but of course piling up the points.
Then he's piling up the points and he's punishing him too. He's hurting him.
He did there with that last combination. There's a little mouse under the right eye now of John Lo Cicero.
That little mouse is getting bigger and bigger.
Sure is. Yes, it's really starting to swell up on him.
It's going to bust open any minute, Tim.
Under a minute to go in round number 3. Geraldo
just can't get away from that left jab. He's got to move inside. Lo Cicero is not fighting with any confidence at all. No confidence.
Geraldo assuming complete control now here in the 3rd round.
See, even that punch, no conviction. He's got to really wing him. That's the punch.
Less than 30 seconds remaining in the 3rd round.
Geraldo just knocked the
mouthpiece out. In the mouth
no
of John Lo Cicero. No, it's all over, really.
Tim, right now. See, he doesn't punch back, Lo Cicero. He's not looking to win the fight. The other fella's all over him. There, he finally punched back.
Final seconds of the 3rd round. Geraldo very much in command. Right hand lead lands.
And Geraldo's a little too far away. He's got to get himself inside.
That was not a knockdown. Geraldo was backing up and simply tripped over his own shoes and fell backward.
Geraldo's used that experience again. He turned Lo Cicero right around. His straight right hand on the chin.
They managed to get some of the swelling down and that lump under the right eye of Lo Cicero between rounds. But it is still swollen, and he takes a straight right hand from Geraldo.
He's getting hit with everything.
Yes, he's really he's hurt now.
He's not fighting back either. They keeps this up, the referee's going to have to stop it.
Geraldo just continues to rain punishment to the face of Lo Cicero, but now Lo Cicero landed the right hand.
No, Geraldo took a little bit of the sting out of that. He rolled with the punch a little bit, Tim. If he got hit solid, he would have went.
Well, still, it was Lo Cicero's best contact of the fight.
Best punch of the fight. Now he stopped punching. He was punching inside. Geraldo's had the initiative for the whole fight.
Crowd trying to encourage Lo Cicero here as they have seen him fall well behind through the first 3 rounds. Trying to rally him a little here in the 4th. Under a minute to go in round 4. Geraldo almost contemptuous here in this 4th round.
There was a little trick the referee let Geraldo get away with. He grabbed Lo Cicero's hand and pulled him into a counter. Smart fighter, Geraldo. Very, very smart.
For round 5, a middleweight bout scheduled for 10. On the right of your screen is Marcos Geraldo, the Mexican champion, and so far he's been giving a boxing lesson to young John Lo Cicero, 24 years of age, from New York City.
Lo Cicero reaches with those punches. He looks like Mickey Rooney in one of those fight movies.
Well, he is the shorter and shorter armed fighter of the two, and that has been part of his problem here today. The rest of it has been, term you used, a kind of a lack of conviction and certainly very little confidence shown so far.
That's right. I think that he was overwhelmed in the first minute by Geraldo. Geraldo made a couple of good moves on him. He seems puzzled ever since.
Geraldo 44 and 13. 13 is quite a number of losses, but he's had a great number of victories. A very experienced fighter.
Well, most of those losses were earlier in his career. He's been fighting the last 2 years as well as he's ever fought. And when you can fight Sugar Ray Leonard to a standstill the way he did, right now he's probably one of the top middleweights in the world, Tim.
We just saw
And he looks it today.
We saw Lo Cicero trip over a loose part of the canvas, which is not the best we've seen around the country, and also very loose ropes here in the Civic Center in Portland. A little quiet right now as Geraldo has just been kind of easing his way along here, taking a commanding lead through the first 4 rounds. We're in round 5.
Lo Cicero just made a move. He tried to bring Geraldo into a right hand. He almost nailed him with it. There it is again.
Lo Cicero has built the reputation in New York on a very powerful right hand. He's put a lot of fighters away with it. 12 knockouts and 15 wins.
There was a chance for him to punch. He threw a 1-2, but he didn't punch after that combination. Now, Geraldo is slipping. He's moving with those punches, Geraldo. He's not getting hit solid.
That's right. No doubt about it. Lo Cicero at least making some contact, but he has not been able to really connect as Geraldo has handled him well. Under a minute to go in round 5. Lo Cicero going to the body with a couple of good shots there that backed up Geraldo.
He's coming on him now pretty good. There's that trick again. The referee caught him this time. He grabs your hand and he pulls you in with it.
René La Liberté, the referee, picking up on that one. Under 30 seconds, round 5. Well, Lo Cicero has at least got Geraldo backing up a little, and a right hand,
good right hand
snapped his head back. Overhand right landed, but did not appear to hurt Geraldo. But Cicero spit his own mouthpiece out.
Why?
Final seconds of the 5th round.
You know, all that does is encourage the other fighter.
The Mexican champion, 44 and 13 with 25 knockouts.
Now, Lo Cicero's back into that trance again, Tim. He just seems to be fighting with no conviction. Backing straight up. You can count the punch. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 punches without a return.
Yeah, that just brings Geraldo on as he wants to put him away. He's getting very little resistance. Has not really landed a good solid punch, but he's been throwing plenty.
He's just overwhelming Lo Cicero. There was a shot that Lo Cicero took a chance.
Short right hand.
And
now he backed him up with the left.
Now see what will happen.
That certainly should have got his attention, that last barrage.
Yeah, well,
by
we know that Lo Cicero can punch. This guy apparently takes a heck of a whack. But Lo Cicero is fighting like he's asleep. Here he has his chance now to dig. He's got to keep digging. Again, that experience, I think Lo Cicero is the more tired of the two, Tim.
Still considerable swelling under the right eye of Lo Cicero, but so far that has not split into a cut, fortunately for him.
Funny thing, Geraldo throws a million punches, punches and bunches.
He sure does, but he hasn't been able to really snap one that
he has Lo Cicero hurt now. He hurt Lo Cicero. Just a short little uppercut hurt Lo Cicero. He has him hurt.
Geraldo trying to finish him in the Mexican's corner over there. See if Lo Cicero can survive this volley.
Well, I tell you, this, if he does survive it, it should take something out of Geraldo. People like it. Lo Cicero came back. Lo Cicero can hardly stand.
We're in the 6th round, less than 30 seconds to go. They both got to be arm weary, and it sure looks like Lo Cicero is leg weary too from the punishment.
Yes, he's leg weary. He hasn't thrown enough punches to be arm weary. He's dead. Lo Cicero is dead.
Geraldo
isn't exactly fresh either.
No, he's got no snap to finish him off here. Final seconds of the 6th round.
See that? That's what I call jabbing with your feet. You see that stutter step he does?
Yep.
Beautiful. Good boxer.
7th round scheduled for 10 here at the Civic Center in Portland, Maine. Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy ringside.
Lo Cicero's corner is telling him to punch underneath, punch to the body, but he just keeps jabbing to the head. He's never going to win a fight or even get in the fight that way.
We're under 30 seconds in the 7th round.
Here comes Geraldo. No, there goes Geraldo.
Here he comes. There he goes. The point is Lo Cicero is not hitting him. Final seconds, round 7. Between Marcos Geraldo, the experienced Mexican champion, on the left of your screen in blue. Young John Lo Cicero getting a boxing lesson in the green trunks now on the left of your screen from New York City. Geraldo has had his way through this fight. Has not, however, been able to put enough hurt on Lo Cicero to put him down, but he has landed an awful lot of punches. Using that jab effectively and then throwing them in bunches, tiring out the young New Yorker.
Well, in the beginning we said that Geraldo was the experienced fighter and Lo Cicero had youth on his side, but Geraldo is a guy that's fighting like a young kid. He's dancing all over that ring.
He's had good leg movement.
Good legs. Good legs. I don't know how Lo Cicero expects to get in this fight with a left jab. Big left hook.
Again, we saw Geraldo kind of slip and roll with it, though. Each time Lo Cicero has been able to make some contact, it's been taken off somewhat by the movement of the head of Marcos Geraldo.
What something like that does, though, it gives Lo Cicero a little more confidence.
Confidence, sure.
And he starts to fight a little better.
Bring him forward some.
Geraldo's setting now. He's trying to win it with a jab and one big punch. That happens to a lot of punches. They forget their regular foundation. They used to hitting guys on the chin and they go, but sometimes you run into a guy that don't go.
Geraldo again throwing a lot of punches, snapping back the head of Lo Cicero, but again no real good clean hard contact. Right hand from Lo Cicero landed.
Yeah, but he rolled with it a little bit. He took the snap out of it. He has to catch him punching, and that's what he hasn't done the entire fight. There was another foul by Geraldo. Grabbed the rope and punched with the rope.
Again,
referee warned him.
René Laliberté, the referee on the case, gave him a warning. Lo Cicero on the right of your screen. Marcos Geraldo, the Mexican champion, on the left.
Geraldo come out the way he's like to say, this is the last round. I'm going to end it right now. He come out punching, solid, not moving anymore. Yeah, he means business now. See, Lo Cicero slipping. He didn't punch. Got hit with 3 punches because missed a fundamental error. Just a fundamental error. Never going to hit an experienced pro with a punch like that. Geraldo is hustling him now, Tim. Good.
Must be somewhat frustrating for Geraldo. He's landed enough punches to have put a lot of guys away, but
well, I think he fights like this all the time, Tim. I don't. He's an arm. Oh, there was the best right hand of the fight by Geraldo, right on the button.
Still, Lo Cicero just wavered a little bit, stayed up, and he's leg weary.
I don't understand why he doesn't punch back. Getting pummeled all over the ring.
Geraldo has 25 knockouts on his record. And he certainly had the opportunity against John Lo Cicero.
This looks like the end now,
away at him.
It looks like the end now, Tim. No, he's still standing up.
He looks very tired. Still fairly clear-eyed.
He doesn't seem to have the idea of trying to win. You like to ask yourself, what is he thinking?
One thing is for sure, he will have had himself some kind of a boxing lesson here today. Maybe his 4th loss, but he's got to come away with having learned quite a bit from Marcos Geraldo. A minute remaining in the 9th round, scheduled for 10. Blood from the nose of Lo Cicero again. He had some early in the fight.
Geraldo's enjoying himself in there, Tim. Doing
Target
anything he wants to do. Anything he wants to do. When you don't punch back.
30 seconds remaining, round 9.
Low. You know, you say he's giving Lo Cicero a boxing lesson. He could either benefit from it or it could ruin him.
Final seconds of round 9. Round number 10, the final round here at the Civic Center in Portland, Maine. The crowd urging on John Lo Cicero. Just landed a right hand, Geraldo.
Big right hand.
Geraldo way ahead on our cards, and Lo Cicero will have to pull out all the stops, whatever he's got left. And Geraldo's willing to stand there and slug with him.
Geraldo has plenty left.
He's in good shape, Geraldo. He's moved well throughout this fight, and he's thrown a ton of punches. He only relaxed once in the 7th round after he had nearly punched himself out in the 6th. He got himself right back together.
Well, I tell you, Tim, Geraldo looks like as good a middleweight as I've seen around. I would have to say it won't be long before he'll be fighting for the middleweight championship of the world. He looks very, very good to me. What do you think, Tim?
Well, my feeling is it's hard to get an assessment of him against this opponent, Lo Cicero, today, who's just been unable to a lot of skills, but it doesn't look like, to me, he's a real good banger. Maybe the one thing
was staggered.
Yeah, but he's been staggered.
He's not punching back. Now he's in bad shape now, though, Tim. He's in bad shape.
Yes, he is. Now that would have been a knockdown punch if he hadn't arrived at the ropes over there. Lo Cicero is
he's trying to fight
wobbly and tired, but he's hanging in. Game he is, and they throw in the towel. Howie Albert threw in the towel. They don't want Lo Cicero hurt. He's a youngster, 24 years of age, and it is all over. I'm not sure towel throwing is legal in the state of Maine, but they made the right decision. Let's get him out of here before he gets hurt.
He is completely exhausted, Tim. Completely exhausted.
So Marcos Geraldo finally stopping Lo Cicero.
Lo Cicero had crazy heart, and the kind that didn't make him rich, but earned respect. He hung in there with Geraldo, and that wasn't nothing. Geraldo was one of those fighters who ran hot and cold, but when he lit up, you felt every spark. Lo Cicero swung wild and wide, just like he would in that brawl with Caveman Lee. He wasn't built for clean fights or boring decisions. He was chaos in gloves. He didn't always get the win, but he always gave the fans their money's worth. As for Geraldo, you could see how he gave Leonard and Hagler all they can handle. On paper, he looked like a journeyman, but in the ring, when he gave a damn, he was trouble, barely breaking a sweat, stone-faced the whole time. If only he'd been more motivated, he might have made a lot more noise in his career. Moving on to the main event, which was Marvin Hagler versus Loucif Hamani, a fight Hagler didn't want but took anyway because the real prize, a rematch with Vito Antuofermo, got yanked away from him. Hagler stepped into the ring the uncrowned king, still steaming from that disputed draw with Antuofermo. Nobody knew much about Hamani. Algerian by blood, French by residency, an unknown with no film, no tape, no real warning. The kind of guy you can't study, can't scout. Just hope he doesn't have too many tricks tucked behind those gloves. Hamani had some pedigree, a sketchy loss to Alan Minter in the 1972 Olympics, an amateur record of 156 wins and just 4 losses, a pro record of 20-1. But numbers lie. He decisioned Emil Griffith 4 years back, but Griffith was an empty shell by then. Other than Griffith, Hamani really had no notable opponents. Still, Hamani had dreams, said his hero was Marcel Cerdan, the former middleweight king. Claimed Cerdan would come to him in dreams, whispering, "Courage, you will succeed. Keep the faith." But dreams turn to nightmares when you're standing across from Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Diminished because of the fact that he's in with a southpaw. That's what you have to look for.
They match up very well physically, have almost identical builds, broad-shouldered, thick-chested, heavy thighs, both very strong and really almost mirror copies of body structure. Hagler 5'9.5", Hamani 5'9 1/4. A couple of pounds lighter. An enthusiastic group of Algerian students from colleges around Maine, Massachusetts, New England, some coming all the way from New York to support their countrymen. Almost typical feeling out round here, neither fighter getting too close, throwing too many punches, as they get a good look at each other.
Hamani so far is moving strictly to his left, which is really the way to fight a southpaw, especially a southpaw like Hagler. It's a punishing puncher. He keeps himself out of the range of that big straight left hand of Hagler's.
Less than 30 seconds in round one, scheduled for 10. 20-foot ring here, 8 ounce, very near the same town that Marcel Cerdan was raised in Algeria, and says he feels some of the tradition in his bones of the late great Marcel Cerdan. He trained in the gym where Cerdan trained and saw the posters.
Good right hook by Hagler, Tim. Good right hook. Missed that one.
Hamani. Now as they start to mix a little more here in round number 2, showing his good movement.
Oh, he's quick. He's quick. No question about that. Quick head movement, quick legs. He better be quick in there with Hagler.
Marvin Hagler wins over. And the draw that haunts him still against Vito Antuofermo.
Hamani is slipping punches and he's not countering, Tim.
Good straight right from Hagler.
He's hurt. Hamani is hurt.
It really rocked him. Another right hand. He's got him in trouble. He's on the ropes and that's it. Hamani knocked right through these very loose ropes into the press row. As Hagler with a good short straight right. That was a damaging punch. And Hamani knocked right through these very loose ropes here. Took several tough shots as he was sagging on the ropes and fell into the press row. And here in the second round, a startling knockout.
Hagler's trainer, Goody Petronelli, applied smelling salts to the fallen Hamani, maybe the first fighter ever revived by the corner that just buried him. Hamani retreated back to Paris and never fought on U.S. soil again. He hung around the sport for a few more years, then faded out for good in 1983. He died of Parkinson's disease in 2021 at the age of 71. Meanwhile, Hagler kept marching forward, settled an old score with Bobby Watts, then took on Marcos Geraldo in a 10-rounder. If you haven't seen that one, I'll drop a link in the description box below. Thanks for watching.